you.
Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, probably want a strap on. Hee-hoo! It's Zach Elias.
Oh, that was terrible. And probably sure does. It's awful.
I don't think you're ever going to live that.
As they said in Coming to America, just the man I met in the restroom.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. We
get it down because I was inquisitive. I asked the follow-up questions and ended up in eyes wide shut.
I can't see a parrot or think of a parrot without thinking of you somehow in a sexual position, although you had nothing to do with it.
I ruined parrots for you.
You took the ricochet from whatever that was.
I did. Yeah. Ruined parrots. Iago shan't be the same.
People, we know you're listening to the show. We know you're watching the show. Whatever platform you're on, give us a good rating. We want you to tell people, share the love. Next time you go to McDonald's, go to the person who's flipping the burgers and say, hey, I got a podcast for you.
That's our target audience. We can't go up from McDonald's. It's not next time you're at, Tiffany's or something. No, McDonald's is where we're at.
K?
K is right. Yeah, find someone named K and tell them about it. Mm-hmm.
All I know is we like when people love the podcast, but we love when people hate the podcast.
Yeah, I missed that roasty guy. He came on once like a goddamn... He was like an eclipse. Then he was gone.
Got a great show planned for tonight. Before we get into our beers, we already did the math backstage. I owe Zach another shot because I got 0 teams in my final 2.
I won from this is that
Scatterbrain, which is the cheaper alternative to Screwball. They make all types of lovely flavored shots. This is a vanilla cake whiskey, a whole llama fun, which punny enough.
It's so hard to open those things. We're just like weak with our bad grip.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can get this open. I also put it in the freezer for about an hour, so that maybe not helping. Oh, dead air. Beautiful. All right, Dacky. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up is right. Panky. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, that went. Oh, two efforts. Weak.
There's no vanilla and no cake.
It's all cannot break contact.
Oh, it's just the aftertaste. The whole thing was whiskey. That was terrible.
Fantastic.
All right.
What's the aftertaste? Sprinkles, the little Debbie. Ew.
Why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking?
I'm mowing down these Asians quick, but I got
okay, Pol Pot.
I said what I said. I got another Sapporo. What about you?
Oh, speaking of which, we're watching a show right now where they do cheers in Irish, and it's how to say cheers in Irish or Gaelic, but spell it out.
It's like SCHLT apostrophe. It's got a billion EEE. Yeah, it's nuts.
When you're sitting on a couch with a half Asian and we got wine in front of us, I looked at her and I said, "Slanty," and it was all there.
Fantastic. What'd she say? She didn't get it at all.
Mow!
Oh, there's always that.
Oh, no, she gets it. She's more clever than you think. Zach, this past weekend, I had the pleasure of seeing your boy.
Yeah, and you did invite me. I wasn't going to come because he's the worst, but no, he's terrific.
Where I do believe he's watching tonight.
Did he drop an ant on him? Constantly.
Oh, no, they were so tired. They had done a whole weekend in Atlantic City, and we're just getting back.
They walked 7 steps.
Their kids are Vildachayas. That's all I can say.
Good usage.
But I am always going to bring him good presents because he's so generous. He bought all this food. There was pretzels. There was Chinese food. So I gave him a holiday 3-pack because they come in 4, meaning I kept one for myself. It was in today's promo with my 10-month-old son from the Asbury Park Brewery. Asbury Pale Ale, an American pale ale with just the right advanced romance of Asbury Park. So this probably has a cigarette in it somewhere.
Southside Johnny pissed in it.
And Ann said he's popping one tonight to drink along with me. So cheers, buddy.
Where is he? Hit us up in the chat. Do something. Make yourself useful there, champ.
Well, I forgot to share the episodes. Oh, Jesus.
Hit son of bull.
All right. Zach. Episode 224. Calling this one.
You really shook us.
You did really shake us. I can't share this episode. This is not good for business.
It's not good for anybody. Dead air again. Watching you play on your phone. It's on
I'm not
Grindr
playing.
over there.
I'm trying to show it, and literally the thing just shuts down. All right, and you know what? I just got a brand new phone. Not even sure how to restart anything.
Oh, God, this guy.
Zach, this past week, all the rage was about the stupid eclipse. And you know what? If you were into it, I don't care. I really don't want to talk about
We
it.
went downstairs and we looked at it, and I think we fucked up because, like, even with the glasses, you shouldn't be staring at a light bulb for 40 minutes. My eyes are all, as Kramer was saying, my rods and cones are all screwed up. Like, my eyes don't feel great today. I saw the 2017 one in Bermuda, so much better. Beach, some guy next to us had real equipment. This was not worth the pop. And especially, I feel bad for anyone who like went somewhere for it and spent money on like a hotel and an event. It got a little dusk. It was okay.
What did they think was going to happen? You feel bad for them?
No, actually, I don't. I feel bad fundamentally, but good. Fuck them. They get disposable income.
Oh, I heard today on the radio they did something.
Who went, sans kid. Parents aren't going anywhere for a celestial event. Fuck that.
Sans kid. I did hear they did some magical celestial group wedding where did you hear this? And then the worst part about it was they got some famous Beatles cover band, the Liverpool Lovers. And as soon as the eclipse happened, they started the wedding. And then as soon as it started moving, they started playing Here Comes the Sun. I heard this and I wanted to drive my car off the road. It bothered me so much.
They should do, like, for the next lunar eclipse, a mass divorce. Now that would be something. 50 miserable couples just get divorced in unison, and like maybe you meet someone because there's a bunch of single people there now.
By the odds alone. Hey, what are your thoughts on parrots on my shoulder? In or out?
Well, where are they going in? You never know.
But the eclipse bothered me to no end. That being said, we live on the East Coast. If I would have told you on Wednesday night, our last podcast, you will experience an earthquake in the next 2 days, you would have told me, get the fuck out of here, right?
Get the fuck out of here. No, it really shook. I was on the 5th floor, and like, you could see the place shaking. My mom didn't feel it because she was out for her daily constitutional, which is fancy for a walk. She didn't feel it. But I have another friend who was on the 22nd floor. She said she thought the building was falling over. I think it was like shaking. Anyway.
I'm embarrassed because I was working with the patient, and I currently share a wall with the Taekwondo studio. And it was spring break last week. So what they did was the guy ran a camp during the day where he brings all his students in for a bunch of hours, get rid of some of their energy.
That sounds horrible. To have to hear that all day long. I go for an hour and I can't take it.
Not all day.
Yeah.
It's literally just during last week during the day because the kids were on spring break. Usually the guy's first class is at 5:00 where I'm leaving, or we don't overlap that much. Very nice guy. Although the whole hallway these days smells like that cleaner they use on the mats, which make me vomit instantly.
I don't know.
That being said,
my daughter's dojo.
I remember I'm sitting there working with a patient, and it was more after the fact when my phone had 7 text messages of like earthquake, shaky question mark, are you okay? I basically then went, oh my goodness, I remember 20 minutes ago, I thought that they were doing an all-out blitz sprint next door where all the kids were kicking the bags at the same time, and I could feel rumble. Sweep the leg, Johnny. That was my experience with this earthquake. I don't have anything hanging on my walls. I didn't notice anything shaking.
Such decor. Not even a diploma to prove you had a thing?
It's on the other wall.
Nice.
And it's up by the front. And you have to be kidding me. Literally, you hang your shingle. That's what I do.
Hung your shingle. Your shingles? Yeah, no, we felt it. It was pretty wild. I looked up the guy next to me like, we're having an earthquake? I'm like, I think we are. Weird. But we like chit-chatted through it.
It's just growing up in the East Coast. You just think there's no way. My freshman year at Maryland
was weird. A few 10 years ago.
So then maybe you would have believed it a little bit more because I don't remember the last one at all.
Weird.
For me, I was 2 weeks into college as a freshman, and they said there's a tornado coming our way. And I'm going like, guys, I'm from Maryland. I know you're from Nebraska or whatever. Like, we don't get tornadoes. So I couldn't have taken it any less serious, where I was sitting in my room, and maybe you remember going to college and getting your first computer for the first time. Like, you didn't share it with anybody. I had my own computer. Next thing you
Only
know,
child. I don't share shit with Allison.
and my mother, and I don't think my father used one, but I just remember having my own computer for the first time.
ColecoVision.
Dude, you got a Dell. And I was so afraid of the surge protector, however the hell that works. So what I did was okay, I know it's raining hard. I'll shut it down. But the sports energy drink is fantastic.
Or Serge from Beverly Hills Cop.
Serge. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is a top movie, by the way.
What? It's the worst of all of them by far. They're the most plausible.
You're out of your mind. The Icky Shuffle?
He's the most plausible. But, Serge is great.
Serge. Anyway, so Zach, I'm sitting there and people are telling me that there's a tornado coming on campus. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Okay. I'll shut my computer down just because I was terrified of it breaking. And I was 17 years old. I was so afraid of this. Anyways, next thing you know, I hear, get the fuck in the basement. I look out the window. You see trees being pulled up on North Campus. I'm going, oh my God, this is terrible. I run to the basement. I'm down there. You hear all types of movement. You don't know. Guy comes down next to me. He's holding his neck. He has blood running through his fingers down his arm. And I turned to this guy. I was like, hey man, are you okay? He literally was my neighbor. Like I maybe spoke with him once. He goes, I was showering and shaving and I cut myself shaving. So we ran to the basement.
Do not mess around. When I went to St. Louis to go to a Cardinals game, it was like weeks after a tornado, like literally split the airport in half. Like you had to take a shuttle because like it's just not there. There's debris everywhere. There's like garbage bags on windows because that's a thing you do. It was the real thing.
No, it's definitely for real. And that being said, as not serious as I take it, the damage wasn't terrible. There were two girls, sisters, that were driving home. They lived really close to campus to go see their parents. Car picked up, thrown against a building.
Adios.
That's it. Adios, muchachos. Which was only, I don't know. Well, we lost 4 people my freshman year at Maryland. 4.
Yeah, people you lose in a regular year. 3.
0. Kids don't die at school.
I think it's a lot of stress.
So that's why I went with talking about shaking everything up. But to think about other people that got shaken up, Zach, you and I are missing out on the best thing I've seen all year on television.
Go on.
This past weekend, needed a new phone, went to the local mall, Verizon. Okay, we'll do the translate. By the way, 19 minutes in and out of the store. It was the most painless process ever. The guy was just giving me free stuff. I'm like,
I hate you. You got to go your next phone, you're going with my mom.
Upper West Side?
You've got to go with her. You got to help her get her next phone. She'll buy you a phone. Yours will be free anyway, but she'll still buy you it.
It was just one of those. We had this young salesman guy who I couldn't help resist. The amount of times he would say something and I would just make an innuendo and he would do this laugh like, oh my God, he doesn't realize what he just said. I'm thinking like, dude, you're 10 years younger than me. He turned to me and goes, you're going to need a phone cover here, right? I was like, nah, I don't really use protection. He goes like, oh my God, is anybody hearing this guy? And I just keep a straight face the whole time.
You're slaying?
I was, but it was just all layups and I just kept going for the ridiculous stuff of it. Anyway, so now we have to do the data transfer. It'll take 20 minutes. We are starving, and there's a B-dubs feet away from where this Verizon store is. So I'm like,
do it in the store so the guy can watch it happen. Because I'm gonna have questions at some point.
I did it in the store. We did the whole thing, and then it said, "All right, I'm good." The guy goes, "If you want to go get some food, you just come back in 20 minutes." I said, "Okay."
Oh yeah.
So we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I'm a fan. I mean, you don't get such great bang for your buck, but I am a fan of.
It's a nice meal when your phone is in the Verizon place because it's like the old days. It's very pleasant.
Oh, I felt so naked. It was not good.
I like it.
It was not good. And so we go there, and I like that you get 20 wings. You get 4 different sauces. It's like almost like an appetizer sampler, but you get the different sauces. So you try a couple different ones. And because you know how you and I are like, give me some heat, but don't kill me with spice.
Figure out what will kill me and take it down one notch.
Exactly. Well, with this, I was like, well, let's do a garlic parmesan. Well, that Caribbean jerk is pretty high up there. Let's try one of those. I'm still coughing smoke 3 days later from it. It was so fucking hot.
I gotta tell you, I think I burned off my taste buds because, like, I remember back in the day, Tabasco was super hot. I went to brunch on Sunday. I'm like putting half a bottle. I could probably taste it.
That being said, I position myself so I could watch a baseball game here. You got the USFL there, which I couldn't care less about, but I don't want to talk to Julia for a whole hour.
No, you
and
don't.
Next thing you know, we're finishing up our meal and we both kind of look to our right and we see in a boxing ring two men going at it with pillows like there was no tomorrow. Julia turns, she goes, "Oh my God, are you watching this? You're going to talk about this."
Fighting?
Professional pillow fighting, Zach.
I'm in.
Oh my God. But so here's the thing. You get one pillow and your guard hand, and you're throwing with the right and the person's blocking it.
Is the
but
guard
if you want to
hand a naked hand, or is it like a guard?
Naked hand. And so you're trying to basically get to the other side of where. So the only way you could do that is by spinning, like a spinning back. We watched some Ellen DeGeneres lookalike get her clock cleaned. I actually audibly yelled out loud. I think it was a guy.
Oh.
But we're watching this, and of course it's on ESPN, the Ocho. Yeah. But the fact that that slap fighting thing has gotten big and nobody is talking about these pillow fighting, I guess there's not as many brain injuries because we watched a couple people get destroyed and they stayed up. Like there's no dropping at all. I don't know the rules. It seemed like it was 1 3-minute round. All I ask of these people, please do not do weight divisions. Do older brothers versus younger brothers, and that's how you make this blow up.
More versus the guy who has older brother mental stuff. The little kid's gonna come at you hard. You don't beat your older brother.
There was people dancing. They were flipping. It was kind of like Savannah Bananas meets pillow fighting. They were making it very showy, but the people took themselves way too seriously.
Savannah Bananas all do the thing, or is that one guy only?
I think they each have a thing. Like I watched a shortstop today. He caught a ball, bounced it.
Marvelous.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty talented. We're trying to get down there at some point. But Zachy, this pillow fighting thing was. I have no words because the Ocho's kind of stupid with like dodgeball, and half the time they can't catch anyways.
My favorite thing is the commercial for the Ocho in dodgeball with it's a squirrel water skiing. A squirrel water skiing gets me every time. It's that and a monkey riding a goat with a cowboy hat. Two things that I will watch for hours. I'm in. Can't go wrong.
Zach, are you a jerk? Do you want to eat some Quirk?
Yeah, so I was watching the Met game the other day, and a friend of mine texted me this too, but like, they were in Cincinnati. Pete Rose has a statue in Cincinnati, and it is now juxtaposed with him sliding into a sports book that is now across the street. It is absolutely the most ridiculous thing in the world. Here it is. MGM across the street from Pete Rose. Perfect.
Into it's a sports book?
Yeah, an actual MGM sports book. There's some baseballs, then there's Charlie Hustle sliding right into it.
Charlie Hustle.
Perfect. It's excellent. Jenna won. I gave her crap.
But did she win?
Sort of. So she came in third. She won more than I did for coming in second in Nate's pool. I won $100. She won $750, but here's the consolation. She was like a 300-person pool. Her 15 points that we all made fun of her. Differential. She got it on the nose. So bravo to her. 15 points.
Wait a minute. I listened to that episode this morning. You said it was combined score, not differential.
It was. She thought differential. We all gave her a ton of crap. Well, she was way off. Still, came in third.
Samsonite.
As far as getting differential right, she nailed it. 15 points is 15 points.
Oh, I misunderstood you when you talked about it because I thought it was any bracket I've ever been in is you have to pick the total score.
You do. She was way off, and she got roasted by the host. She got
the differential right, which is what she thought she was going for.
Yeah, so good for her. She still won more money than I did.
But if she would have done a realistic combined score, you should have won.
I asked her how much she would have said. She said 150. The guy who came in second I still would have beaten her. So whatever. Okay. At least it's charming now, and it's a killer $1,500. Did you ever know that they sometimes give you? So okay, here we frame this. We were going to Zoe's softball game on Sunday. So when we do this, Jenna and I will look at our Ubers and see who has the better price, and we'll go with that because sometimes it's different per phone. Jenna had one that was like $8 less than mine. We're standing a foot from each other, so yeah, let's do that.
I wonder why, Mr. Pain in the Ass.
No. I have promo codes into not that. My rating's fine. I'm an Uber slut. I give 5 stars. You can get into an accident. I give you 5 stars. I don't give a shit. Her driver, and I don't know if this is why. As we're leaving, she goes, "Oh, by the way, our driver's hearing impaired." I go, "What? Driver? It says on there is hearing impaired. I go, how is she going to hear the road?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, "We're going to get in this car." She goes, "Yeah." So the person opens it. This woman gets out. Hearing impaired. midway through, Jesus take the wheel, because she is blasting Christian rock. So whatever she can't hear on the road, she's listening. And I'm looking at Jenna, I am cackling. But yeah, this is what they have. Uber drivers that are hearing impaired, I guess, are cheaper.
Okay,
So
what I thought you were going to say was because your wife literally is an audiologist and she'd be able to help this woman out. I thought they were doing a little shit
couldn't
off.
help shit.
They
She's
couldn't make
on for dear life while this lady is barreling down the highway listening to God Save Us.
But knowing she's hearing impaired, Jenna didn't do the like, hey, just so you know.
No, she was trembling.
Do you understand how often it comes up that I'm a physical therapist?
8 times.
A day? Yes.
I don't know.
When I'm out and about, and people just start talking because people love complaining. Something that almost made my Pishadoo candidates was they did a research study. Negative office gossip actually inspires more productivity at the workplace than anything else. Because people love. Yeah, they said more than positive office gossip, but they basically, anytime you meet anybody, oh, well, I'm going to need a hip replacement. And half the time you're going, who gives a shit? At which point I have to say, oh, okay, that's very nice. And then they can tell.
Would you want death rattles as your Uber driver?
Death rattle daddles?
Exactly.
No, the thing is when people want to complain, they just want sympathy, and I don't give it to them because then they go, I'm gonna need a knee replacement, and I go, yeah, you'll be fine. Like I work with 8 knee replacements a day, and they go, ugh.
Yeah. So there's that. Does Milo have daycare tomorrow or school? He does, because Zoe sure doesn't.
Oh, I know somebody who doesn't have school tomorrow either, and my sign off that I'm not happy about. Eid. Go on.
What the fuck is Eid?
Eid? Is it
Amin? Yeah, whatever it is. Isn't that the guy who was playing UConn? Yeah, he was a point guard.
Khalid El Amin. Good one, Zach.
Exactly, that's him. Zoe's school was off because of him or something. When is it enough? We have 365 days in this year. How many are we going to give people off?
Who's staying home with her?
Who cares?
She's 10 now. What's the rule in New York City? How old to stay home alone?
I don't know. We still have a nanny for the better part of forever, so it's all good.
Ooh, when do you have to let her go?
Never. I'm going down with the
never.
Shit.
Zoe will be in college, and
we'll still be paying her. I don't know how to extricate myself from that relationship at all.
Okay.
Zoe had a softball game on Sunday. She went 0 for 0 with a hit by pitch. Only kid to get drilled was Zoe. She didn't know how to turn away from this. She turned into it right here, and it left a ring. It left a mark.
Oh, and she cried like a bitch.
Yeah. Didn't even give her first.
No,
because there's no walks, so you didn't give her dick. You just let her take it.
How many innings that she only went 0 for 0?
Essentially, they gave her another thing, but like it was a disaster.
How often do you practice with her?
Today, I went out with her and practiced. But she said the season just started. It's a much more competitive league. Some of these girls are unbelievable. One of them like wears a cage for pitching. She's Asian. She's crafty, and she like rocks and brings it.
Why should I be Asian?
Well, she doesn't have to be. She just is.
I saw a dad getting rocked to your local Cubs teams.
Oh, she drives. She pitches.
Today, I took one of my patients just to practice walking outside because he needed the work. There was a dad next door. He was holding the machine that tossed the balls into the air to let his kid hit. And it starts off with a kid. Kids always are way more overconfident. His kid is 30 feet away. The little wiffle ball machine maybe spits at 6 feet. He's like, you're going to have to come a little closer, buddy. And the whole time. Now, I don't know these people. All I wanted to turn and say is like, dude, why'd you buy this? Just toss it to him, What are you doing?
Yeah. So Kirsten Dunst and Jimmy Kimmel's kids got into a rumble at school.
Against each other?
Yeah, both cried apparently.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Both are 5
How
years
old?
old. 6 and 5. 6 and 5. Both just to drop the gloves and went. Celebrity kids.
Laddie's kid? Oh, I'm going to mess this up. His kid bit Scarlett Johansson's kid or something like that on a playground, and he had to go apologize, or maybe vice versa. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Daddy
How
likes.
How to land that? Jesus, he must be huge. Just monstrous. Did you hear what happened to Joel Embiid and the NBA? It makes me nuts.
I only know about the free throw issue.
All right. The NBA is finding the 76ers $100,000. Cool. because Joel Embiid has been hurt for a while, and he wasn't listed on he was listed on the injury report, and he played. What about gamesmanship? Why should the other team know who's going to play? Because you know who needs to know? The gamblers. Figure it out, guys. Fuck
That's
that.
where they're making their money.
Who cares? What about gamesmanship? Why? I wouldn't have anybody in the injury report. I'd have people's moms on the injury report. Like, fuck you.
You know Belichick got in trouble for this, so he just put everybody on the injury report?
Yeah. Why is there even an injury report? What does it matter? What's the whole purpose of this thing?
To this day, I still don't understand what questionable, doubtful, and out are for, because it all seems like they're not playing.
None of them play. Doubtful has never come back to a game. The guy's a half dead. Doubtful. Winona Judd's daughter, Grace Pauline Kelly, was what? You familiar with her body of work?
No, that's a name, though. Come on.
Because everyone's familiar with her body of work. Locked up for indecent exposure in Alabama. Aiding and abetting.
Greenbow, Alabama.
Look at her.
She does look like a Judd. She looks like a Judd.
Does she look Juddy there? Because that's her without all the Hazarai. Indecent exposure. And they didn't say it was breast. She showed the goods.
You know, I do run into people.
She showed her CMA.
Zach, I run into people that start watching. Like certain friends I've met, and I say, "Oh, I do a podcast." The way I tell people to promote, and then later on, they tell me I will run into. Them, they go, "You know, I've been listening to your podcast a lot." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Saying thank you so much. They say, "Yeah, I have to Google half the shit you guys say. I don't know that Jewish talk you're doing." Oh,
Jewish
this episode,
not
that bad.
You
but
said
this episode, they were.
New York teacher promises his students an eclipse party in 1978. And he kept his promise yesterday. That I like. That's the best thing to come out of the eclipse. A bunch of kids from 1978 meeting up with some old bag.
You know what that is? Did you watch The Office, the whole thing, where they did Scott's Tots, which is an all-time episode? Do you remember this?
No, I didn't watch The Office.
You've never seen The Office?
No.
As much complaining as you do about, like, oh, we need a new show, you've never seen The Office.
There's too many episodes. Anyway.
Wait. Okay, then I don't care. I'll ruin it for you. So Michael goes in to do like a guest speaker or whatever, Steve Carell character, who's out of his mind. It's great. And he basically says his whole class, he says, listen, I know you guys are in 7th grade, but here's the deal. I will personally sponsor all of you for when you get to that age to go to college, and I will make sure that you all have a scholarship or whatever. Well, anyway, all the kids work super hard. It's now 5, 6, 7 years later, and they come back and like, hey, Mr. Squat, we're all going to college. He's like, I can't pay for all this. It's an all-timer. It's a great episode.
Scrabble makes historic change to the game with a less competitive, inclusive version to appeal to Gen Z. Of all the soft pandering things to do, they can't spell real words.
So what did they change? Like, what is the new ads?
No more scoring. It's just a less competitive version. It's fun to fun. Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Snowflakes.
They're the softest.
Buy a Bible. Don't play Scrabble.
Everything is something with a Florida mom.
Yes. Oh, check one.
Who stole Ashley Biden's diary. Like, fuck you, get a diary. Sentenced to a month in prison and ordered to pay $20,000. Called despicable. Okay. Why would you steal someone else's diary? Who the hell cares what's in some kid's diary?
Ashley Biden is...
I don't know. She's the Biden's granddaughter.
She's related to Biden. Cool. Yeah. And how old is she that she has a diary?
I don't know. So, no. She's 42 now. Jesus Christ. And some 41-year-old mom stole her diary.
Okay.
Who cares about any of this crap? And this isn't exactly hard-hitting news, but... Where's the picture of it? Lenny Kravitz lifts weights in leather pants and sheer tank top. Always on brand, as they say. He's fucking shredded, too. I mean, nice Jewish boy.
I was going to say, nice Jewish boy. Give it to him.
He could go. Fucking animal. He's like 60.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. But that got me there. That's about all.
Hey, Zach, what you watching?
I'm watching Lenny Kravitz do that.
Oh my god!
So there's that. We started Yellowstone for you, baby.
And your dad.
What?
And your father. Okay, how many episodes are you in?
3. It's Cowboys and Indians, but everyone tells me after 3 it gets fire.
Yeah, after long. 3.
They're long. They're an hour, so you can't just fly.
I'm aware.
So it's gonna be a hot minute with Yellowstone. So like
Okay.
50 hours for us here. It's over. It's over and done. It's ended, or is there another season coming?
No, they have the second half of season 5, but it doesn't come out till November, so you'll be all caught up by then.
I'll be all
Yeah,
excited.
November. I hope so.
And Curb ending.
You're good. You saw the whole thing.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Right?
Jerry was great. Susie in the courthouse was incredible.
As she was slowly, her thing was coming off. It was really good. You know, I actually didn't think Jerry would come back. So for me, that was kind of like an icing on the cake.
So good.
He was really good. Here's my one comment about the Curb ending, because Ann and I were also talking about this past weekend of like, you think they're just going to do the same Seinfeld ending? Do you know my theory on Game of Thrones?
Got me.
That was not one of my favorites. But for me, I think that when Game of Thrones, they did a dry run basically where, yeah, George R.R. Martin, that's how he wanted it to end. Well, people didn't like the ending. I think if he finishes the books, he's going to do it something completely different or pivot just enough. I think the Curb was smart to do like, all right. And then at the end, they openly said, that's how we should have ended Seinfeld.
Yeah.
When Leon
said titty taffy, I was on the floor. On the floor. Incredible.
I will miss him a lot.
He should get a spin-off. I would have said Susie should have gotten one years ago. Too old. Give me Life with Leon. Just where is he? Just go keep going with him.
For a minuscule, when Jerry had that, Jerry basically did a Larry David impersonation where he walked into the bar, he met the South African, then he met the good, and then when he started walking away and they played like the tuba music, I thought to myself, are they doing a Jerry Seinfeld spinoff? Then I'm going like, no, he's too big. But if that would have been Leon doing that, I would have been like, oh my God, they're definitely going.
He should get a spinoff. One season. Like, you don't need more than that. Just one season of him with no script. Just go crazy. Do what you want. It will be better than anything else on TV. Even the worst episode of that will be better than anything else on TV.
Except this Saturday, UFC 300. It's a pay-per-view. It is 12 former champions that are fighting, and you can watch it free starting at like 6. No, he never was a champion. Starting at I think 6 o'clock. No, it's current amazing people. Zach, they always make 100, 200, and now 300. They literally have put out like the worst events the last 3 or 4 weeks to make sure that this event is stacked. Do me a favor, turn it on. There's going to be some bangers.
You gotta get a technical fight. You gotta give me a link. I'm not paying for it.
No, you can do. You have ESPN. It'll be on ESPN. And then
review.
You're not going to be up that late, but at the beginning,
I'll be up. How late does this thing go?
Oh, like probably like 1:30. It's going to be a late one.
I might be up till 1.
Okay, but I'll send you what I got, but I don't know if I'll be awake. That's the problem.
How's that kid doing?
Pishadoo of the week. I only have 8 candidates, and one of them is very obvious. Rolling through these. I have a patient who watches ESPN, so when I'm at his house, he watches it. I see today that her boy, RG3, who gets all the ESPN love, is sitting there doing his remote access, whatever, and to the right of him is a Christmas tree. Now, I don't need to tell you anything about anything because he's been a little clickbaity for a very long time. What in the asshole is he doing that he still has a Christmas tree in his background?
At a certain point, it just works again. So a broken clock's right twice a night, too. Or twice a day.
April?
Well, eventually it'll start being, hey, he's early to this party.
No Christmas trees until Thanksgiving. Also, he could just slide it to the right 10 feet. I mean, he's on a frame the way I am right now. Come on.
I hate all Christmas. I'm a huge Grinch, so, whatever.
Truth. This story got me. Elementary school.
Speaking of Christmas, one of Zoe's Jewy friends ruined Christmas for her other friend by saying Santa's not real, and all hell broke loose. Kid came home crying, locked himself in the bathroom, couldn't come out for hours because her Jewish friend didn't. That's for show. We'll effect this up though. But nevertheless, her parents didn't give her the lesson. Tell Zoe at a young age, just play ball. They'll mention Santa, and they will. You play ball. So these Jews didn't tell her.
You go, this is for show, because I go, this is for play, this is for keeps.
This is for show, this is for effect. It's pretty good.
Candidate number 2.
Keeps.
Elementary school teacher who was stabbed by her med school student son. Sorry, med school son. Her son's in med school. And he stabbed her. His reasoning. She gets on my damn nerves.
What state was this from?
I didn't click the article. I heard this and like, really? If that was the case, what's the population in the United States? 400, 500? We would have 75 people.
Yeah. We don't get each other's nerves.
My family wouldn't exist, me included.
Just a Seinfeld about Larry David goes, if it were legal, he believes he would kill people. Larry would kill people he felt wronged him. He said that years ago.
That's pretty good. Zach, do you know who Lynette Woodard is?
No.
Cool. She had the record for most points ever scored in a women's college basketball career. And
proudly were of her.
And she is so pissed off about Caitlin Clark, who I think you and I have already talked about this. I'm never watching college basketball again because I watched a half.
She was a quarter.
Brick City. She's doing too much.
See the first quarter where she was raining threes. I saw the one where she couldn't hit anything.
She couldn't make a layup when I was watching Steph Curry my ass. But this other woman is basically saying, I still have the record because I didn't have a 3-point line to use and I played with the men's basketball. And in my head, I'm going, that's not how it works. You don't have the record. Like the fact that in football now there's an extra game, all the records are going to get wiped. It's just how it is, baby girl.
I think the football record should be average now. I don't like it because they used to play 14 games in the day.
So your team, Lynette Woodard?
No, but I'm not Team Caitlin Clark. If you sat in the park and said change my mind, I could go either way.
With the side, change my mind.
That guy.
Next candidate. This can't be real. The 999 challenge. You sit at a baseball game, and for every inning, which is one of the 9s, you have to have a beer and a hot dog for all 9 innings. Can't be real, right?
Well, they don't serve after the 7th. So you got to really get your shit together.
I've been to a baseball game with Big Mike. At the 7th inning, he orders 4 beers.
It's pretty good.
He also stumbled out of the stadium, but yeah.
It's pretty good. That's a lot of nitrates.
Nitrates is where you go with this? My first instinct was, that's a lot of money. It's really expensive.
Well,
is that close to a $20 round, right? Even if you go for the small beer and 1 hot dog, that's nothing on it.
Yeah. So you're talking $200 for booze. And then you're talking about another probably $80 for the dogs.
Carry the 2? Yeah, it's a lot of money. But also, okay, so now let's get to how many innings do you think you get through?
Well, I could do it. If someone gave them to me, I could do it.
Say you'll take this challenge.
You'll buy this for me?
I will buy you a beer and a hot dog every single inning until you throw up, and then you owe me all the money.
Oh, wait, I can't throw up? Oh, I'll definitely boot. Where is that written? I don't like the caveat. No, I will definitely be booting. I mean, I piss every other inning, so I might as well boot while I'm there. I'm already in the room.
Oh, I would come and monitor.
Yeah, enjoy.
I'd be standing behind you in the urinal like this.
You'll find it eventually. No, I'm very honest. I would come stumbling out and go, I'm out. I lost.
School bus driver getting into a lot of problems because he had some rowdy kids on his bus that he told to sit down and they wouldn't listen. So he brake checked them and the kids went flying in the school bus.
What is it Pishadoo? He's a hero.
I don't know. I actually think I'm defending him. I'm thinking the kids are the Pishadoo.
Yeah.
This guy's he's gotten into so much
trouble as a Pishadoo. Any parent who cares what that's a Pishadoo.
He's gotten into a lot of trouble with that. I don't think he lost anything because he was just like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. This one might bother me more than most people. Now you're in the real estate business, so help me out. I go to a patient's house across the street. They're selling their home and they have one of those signs. It was a Weichert Realtors. I don't know if you know them. The guy, they put a picture of him and his name, Jeffrey quotation marks Schwartz or something like that. But in the quotation marks, it said Jeff. And I'm reading it and I go, Jeff Schwartz? Like, do we really need the nickname on the thing there?
He goes by Jeff and you have to use your licensed name sometimes. I have a contact who in Jersey goes by Heather the Hurricane Corrigan on her shit. And she has a picture of a tornado. It's so
I like
perfect.
that. I like that. That's good. That's good marketing.
Yeah, but she doesn't have the right natural disaster. She's got a tornado.
Oh, so it's a hurricane, but she goes to. You know what? I didn't even put that together. But the fact that this guy has. Okay, I got news for you.
His hurricane sounds like a boxer in the 80s.
Yeah, Reuben Hurricane Carter. They wrote a song about
It was a
him.
whole different. He was in the 70s.
Crime was the murder. Guess who testified? Bello and Bradley, and they both said they lied.
Well,
I can do most of that song.
pretty good. Anyway,
Do we really need the quotation marks? Because you know what they're going to call Jeffrey at some point? They're not going to call him Captain or Chief. They're going to be like, hey, Jeff.
Right, Captain. I don't know. You're going to call him nothing. Just pay him.
Yeah, fuck you, pay me. But if he went by Chris, right. I like that. But I don't need Jeffrey.
I don't give a shit.
Jeff Jefferson. Okay.
Pay him.
Somehow this guy keeps ending up on my list. I really don't even care. But did you hear about Morgan Wallen from this past week?
Go on.
Got a little rowdy at a hotel. He was pretty drunk, and on the 6th floor, decided to throw a chair out of the window. Now, if it was going to land on something and cause damage without hurting anybody, what would be the last thing you would ever throw a chair onto if you didn't want to get in trouble?
A car.
What type of car?
A convertible. A Mercedes. I don't know.
Threw it onto a police officer's car. Effectively. Like, what a fucking idiot. Came up and was arrested. What a stupid ass.
I mean, Amanda Bynes threw a bong out of a 20-story building, so these things happen.
But the bong can break, and then there's no... It doesn't... If you throw
until
something
it breaks and there's just shrapnel everywhere.
I don't think shrapnel can be glass. I thought shrapnel's always metal. No?
I don't know. Shards.
But...
Really, that's worth a fortune. A piece of an Amanda Bynes bong that you took out of your body? That's eBay right there, baby.
We got to talk about her next week.
Like her.
Number one candidate.
Spit on the black girl?
I don't see color, but it has nothing to do with that.
Okay, go on.
This bothers me maybe more than not, and I hope he's still watching, but I got to spend this past weekend part of it with Andrew, and nobody loves the Phillies more than this kid. I don't mind when he starts going on with his Eagles talk. I can even put up with some 76er stuff, but when he goes on about the Phillies, it's like, okay, I get it, cool. Well, we're watching the Phillies game in his house, and next thing you know, he starts cheering, and they were playing the Nationals, so that I did get the colors a little confused because it was red hat. He was rooting for the Nationals, and I said, wait a minute, why are you rooting? He goes, for my fantasy team.
Hate him.
You know what I said? Dude, nobody cares about fantasy more than me. I want the Orioles to win a lot more than my fantasy team. Even in April.
It's week 2, asshole. It's a long season. Calm down. Andrew, calm your tits.
RG3 Christmas tree. School teacher gets stabbed because she got on her son's nerves. Lynette Woodard. She has the real record. 999 challenge. A dog, an inning, and a beer. School bus driver brake checks the kids. Worker. It's Jeff Schwartz. Morgan Wallen throws a chair onto a cop car, and Andrew rooting for another team for his fantasy league.
It's a real tight one between Morgan Wallen and Ann. It's probably Wallen, but like, Ann, what are you doing? It's your fantasy team, and it's one game, one player, one pitch. It's a long season. We're gonna get through this. I hope you're finishing last.
Boozer Daddy the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. We had fun. We're gonna keep doing this. Today, happy shout out to my nephew, turns 13. I'm so happy for him. And he's staying at the Great Wolf Lodge tonight with 7 other friends and not going to school tomorrow.
What?
Great parenting.
Because of Eid.
Eid.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Eid. We out.